Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will have to balance growing spending needs with weaker revenue streams when he presents his medium-term budget policy statement today. So for more on the medium-term budget policy, let's cross to Economics Editor Tshepo Mongoai. He is in Cape Town. Tshepo, talk to us about some of the expectations for today.
Very much, and of course, this is quite an interesting budget, given the fact that there were certain assumptions that were made in the February budget, and the question is, will those assumptions be realized? We know that in terms of revenue, the figures that we have seen in the past few days in terms of expenditure and revenue generation, it shows that total revenue has been declining. In fact, it went down by 0.2%. And the other issue that we will be looking very closely is to see expenditure. How has expenditure increased? The expenditure projections that was outlined during the February budget gave a number around 3%. And now, as we speak, we've seen expenditure increasing by around 9%, way more than the 3% that was projected. Another thing is growth projections. The growth now, we are not very far in terms of projection, around 1%, 0.9%, and we have seen some upward revision that have been happening in the past few days to show that we might get a better growth numbers this year. But we all know that in order to maintain the current debt to GDP projections, there needs to be some cut in spending. And the government has already made it very clear that there isn't enough money. So it's likely that while they are going to ensure that there is some moderation in terms of expenditure, they will have to go to the market and increase borrowing. Another important point is borrowing, the debt service cost. That item has also been increasing. The minister actually said that for every 1 rand, 20 cents almost, it goes into the debt servicing cost, with about 366 billion rand. That is more than the annual allocation of the Department of Health or Department of Police individually. So we are starting to see that revenue that is generated is going into debt servicing costs, and it's another concern. How is the minister going to strike that balance? The past few weeks, past few months have actually seen the ministers, various ministers, come together under the budget committee to motivate for some of their projects that needs to be continued, and indeed it will be up to that committee under the National Treasury to see what projects, what other programs are going to be curtailed, are going to be reduced in terms of allocations, and whether some of the projects will completely not see the light of the day.